On the outside, this looks like your average heavy truck. But unlike the conventional diesel truck, this one runs on liquefied petroleum gas. A technology not new to the rest of the developed world, but this truck is the first of its kind to be launched in Southern Africa. An innovation being rolled out in South Africa by transport and logistics company Unitrans.
Well, the system involves a duplicate engine control unit, which people call the engine computer, that piggybacks onto the Mercedes one, and then 6 gas injectors that operate much in the same way as a diesel injector. And then there's an evaporator and 2 filters and a bulk tank on the truck to contain the gas. What it does is quite clever. The 2 computers work with each other, and they alter the timing of the fuel injection on the diesel side of the truck, and they reduce the duration of the stroke. The amount of fuel injected at each firing stroke is reduced because you replace a certain amount of fuel with gas. So they alter the timing of the diesel injection, and then you have electronically controlled gas injectors that run the engine so that it runs on a mixture of gas and diesel.
So what is liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, exactly? In a nutshell, it's a fossil fuel that can be used to power internal combustion engines. The beauty of LPG is that it burns with no smoke or byproducts, which also makes it safe to use for cooking at home.
I think that the messages that come from government in terms of their commitment to cleaner fuel is also been very heartening, where it's communicated that we will have 10 parts per million fuel readily available in the country, around 2017. We hope it's sooner, of course.
Until then, private sector is forging ahead in their own bid to save the earth. The growth of alternative fuels such as compressed natural gas or CNG, LPG, ethanol and other biofuels has been exponential. By 2010, there were 12.6 million natural gas vehicles worldwide, an 11% increase from 2009. Pakistan has the highest amount of these vehicles in operation, followed by Iran, Argentina, Brazil and India. Companies such as Hyundai, Tata and Honda are offering natural gas technology vehicles as the customer demand for cleaner fuels increases. Perhaps a positive indication of increased social and environmental awareness.
There's an increasing requirement from our client base to be showing a green initiative, an environmental consciousness in the way we do what we do. So we're going to have to continue moving in that direction, and I think this is a big step forward in that regard, and we've taken a bit of a gamble because it's something untried in a hot ambient climate. They've been in use in Europe for a long time, and there's already moves underfoot to convert a lot of taxis to running on gas, but those are petrol engines, and it's very easy to change a petrol engine to run on gas compared to a diesel engine. For a big high horsepower truck, commercial transport, this is a first.
Unitrans operates a fleet of about 2,500 vehicles across sub-Saharan Africa, traveling about 150 million kilometers a year.
We started off with the strategy to say, well, as a big truck operator in South Africa with about 2,500 odd vehicles, how do we actually minimize the carbon footprint that our fleets leave on the road? So when you look at looking at green initiatives in vehicles, you have a few options. You have the option of reducing the kilometers that you travel, which has a direct impact on the fuel consumption and the carbon footprint. But I mean, we are a 100-year-old transportation and logistics business, so we continuously do that. The other thing that we look at is routing and scheduling, traveling optimal kilometers, making sure that when your truck wheels are turning, that is carrying optimal payload, and you're traveling the shortest distance to your delivery point. And then obviously the whole driver behavior, excessive idling, all that stuff actually comes into it. And then you look at the whole issue of vehicle design. You look at lightweight trailers, wheel design. You look at basically putting aerodynamic kits in tractor trailer combinations that reduce aerodynamic drag, which obviously reduces fuel consumption. And last but not least, which is in my opinion, I think one of the biggest pluses, is looking at alternative fuel source. We consistently look at different ways of doing things, and in terms of innovative design, I think looking at a vehicle that not only runs on one fuel source, which is so heavily linked to the price of oil as well, is obviously diesel. And then you look at regulatory pricing in terms of diesel and LPG, and suddenly it becomes a hell of a lot more economical from a commercial sense. But the added benefit as well is actually the reduced carbon footprint.
Their search for a suitable vehicle that had the onboard capability to record fuel consumption led them to the Mercedes-Benz Actros. The conversion to LPG costs around 10,000 Rand in total. The truck is being tested over a 6-month period. It will be transporting frozen foods between Durban and Johannesburg and is expected to do about 50,000 kilometers.
The 5-pronged strategy in terms of how do you actually reduce the carbon footprint in terms of the supply chain and what we actually do with the big drivers. In terms of this test, the results that in overseas countries and stuff that it actually runs in is very, very good. So if the test proves successful, and we're going to be running it full time for a period of 6 months, and the test, I have no doubt in my mind, will prove successful, and our future strategy is to put more of that on the road, to put more of the trucks on the road that can concurrently reduce the carbon footprints of Unitrans and the clients we serve, and at the same time get the economic benefit of reduced fuel consumptions. I think it's an absolute win-win for basically our customers, us, and the world in general, I would guess.
Unitrans has won awards for their environmental initiatives, particularly in one of their distribution centers in Gauteng. They've adopted the use of things such as indigenous plants, ammonia refrigeration systems, water meters, electronic taps, daylight harvesting, eco-friendly roof insulation, and the list goes on extensively, illustrating that for a transport and logistics company or any company, there is a lot that can be done to decrease one's carbon footprint.